Trigger warning. The following content may discuss sensitive topics such as mental health, abuse, violence. Please proceed with caution and take care of yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to step away.
Respect. Hi. Doing good. Miss Red, with the greatest of respect, Phalange is now going to come back at you. And she's going to come back harder, and she's going to come back nastier. Right? Regardless of what Phalange has done, regardless of what you have done, regardless of whoever thinks they're morally in the right, it doesn't matter, right? One of you's got to stop. One of you's got to stop. Thank you, Nikki. It's ridiculous at this point, right? And let me tell you something else, okay? I know you have a lot of support. I know you've regularly got thousands of people in your lives. The FYP shows that I see currently are shit shows. Because all it is beef between you all. And the thing that I don't think you get, the thing I don't think you fully understand or fully grasp, for whatever reason, and I know she said some utterly horrendous things about your family, one of you's got to stop in order for the others to stop, right? And I don't care if it's you or her. Let me just put that out there. But you are triggering people in your audience. Both of you, all of you. You're triggering people in your audience. And that's the only thing I care about. Right? I care about your audience. I care about the people who are going to see that image. And they're going to take it the way I took it when I first saw it. Because I didn't realise what it was referring to. They're going to put kiddie at the start of bet. Okay? Because that's what it implies. Yes, okay, when you think about it, I understood. When I thought about it, I understood what the point you were trying to make. However, what's the point in making it? Literally, what's the point? There's no point. Okay? The attitude I adopt is if I fall out with someone, I block them. And then I request people to not send me stuff. I don't want to hear about them. If I'm really affected, which I can imagine Phalange has really affected you, I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to know what they're saying. I turn my head and I walk away, right? And that way, I'm not affected by anything they do, okay? I am not entirely sure, thank you, Foxy, I'm not entirely sure why you all keep it going. It's not worth it. It's not worth it because she's going to come back at you now. And she's going to come back at you worse. And the thing is, when she does, you're going to be upset. And you're going to be hurt. And you're going to want to go back at her. Where does it end? For all of you, where does it end? We're all grown-ass adults, yeah? And we're all more than capable of turning away and walking away from all this crap. Yeah? I'll call out what I see. I understand you're very popular. I understand you have a lot of supporters. But if I think what you're doing is adding fuel to the fire, I'm going to tell you. Okay? And I think you're adding fuel to the fire. Don't get me wrong. Can't stand Phalange. This is not me sticking up for her in any way. Trust me. Right? I have neither the time nor the crayons for that woman. But, and this may be wrong, I hold you in slightly higher regard and therefore to a slightly higher standard, I guess. Whether that's fair or not. So please don't do stuff like that. You're better than that. You genuinely are better than that. That's the sort of thing I would expect from her. Just let it go. Just honest to God, please, for the love of God. Just let it go. Block her. She's not important. She doesn't pay your bills. She doesn't bring anything to your platform. She takes away from your platform. You know? You're doing fine. You don't need it. You don't need the stress. Because then your family's going to get brought into it, isn't it? Aren't they? Your grandchild, whatever. They're all going to be brought back into it. What is the point? What is the point? It's a waste of time. Leave it alone. Let it go. Let it be. Let them. Let them crack on. But you're fueling the fire. You don't need to. Okay? Let them do what they need to do. But if you don't do it, they're going to stop. So I was really disappointed when I saw that, Miss Red, not going to lie. And I'm nobody. I'm nobody to you. I'm face behind a screen, right? But if I'm disappointed, I'm not the only one, trust me. But there are going to be people that are being triggered in your lives by content like that. And I know you say you're not responsible for your audience, but you are. You're responsible for what comes out your mouth. You're responsible for what you put out there, and you're responsible for what you put on your page. I agree that people are responsible for the way they react to it, not you. But if you're responsible for what you put out there, think before you press upload. Just think. Is this going to upset people? Is this going to make the situation worse? Is this really worth people like Jojo coming back at me? Is it worth the aggravation it's then going to cause? The shit it's going to stir? Is it worth the response I know I'm going to get from Phalange and the rest of them? Is it worth it? Have that in your head. Because I do. And I don't say stuff that's offensive. But I will still self-police what I'm saying. And there's been a couple of times I thought, oh no, that sounds wrong. Even though it's not what I've meant, it's not what I've not wanted it to come across that way. So I've deleted the TikTok and done it again. So just think before you press upload, yeah? Let these people get on with it. They're not worth your time or energy. You're better than that. You're better than that. Just don't, okay? Please, Miss Red. That's all I wanted to say. Like I said, if I see it, I'll call it out. Yeah? Not having favourites at all. Anyway, we're not here for that, are we? We're here for autism and ADHD awareness, right? So this is to do more with how we can support each other, connecting to other people that are in a similar situation. Are you waiting for a diagnosis? Have you just been diagnosed? Family members, children, where can you go for advice? How can you get support? All of that stuff. Now, I'm going to depress you with statistics, and then, hi Alice, I'm going to depress you with statistics, and then I'm going to get people in the boxes to hopefully give you a bit of their background. Let them, I'll tell you mine as well, because I've got skin in the game with this as well. So, first statistic I found was from the National Autistic Society, apologies, from December 24th, 2024, reported that, and this is just in England, it's not UK, just in England. It was reported that over 212,000 people are waiting for an assessment for autism. Right? Just in England. With 90% waiting longer than 3 months. Blows me away, that does. There's no statistics for ADHD, which blew me away, because you can find a statistic on how many pencils were used in a bookkeeping office. But you can't find stats on ADHD. So, but there was a report. And in April 2023, the report indicated that there were 24% adults waiting 1 to 2 years for an assessment. This is just an initial assessment, by the way. This is not anything else. And 10% were waiting 2 to 3 years. Sorry, I find that absolutely outrageous. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. So I married a man with a daughter, and that is news to no one. And his daughter has autism and ADHD. She swings more towards autism than ADHD. And it was spotted in school. Very fortunately, it was spotted in school. And we've had a very easy path to get, because the school supported the diagnosis process. The assessments happen fairly quickly. So she was getting support and understanding individual teaching, etc., from the age of probably about 6. So it's going to depress you when I tell you the rest of it. Her experience has been good, not going to lie, and in Scotland it's been brilliant. Now, my mum's partner has ADHD. He's not professionally diagnosed, but trust me when I tell you he has ADHD. His life is a living hell. It's absolutely horrendous. I would not want to spend a single second in his head. I don't know how he functions. The competing conversations that are going on in his head all the time would drive me nuts. And the result of people feeling like that, thank you so much, Helen, thank you, Mel, sorry, I'm trying to get as much information out there before I get people up in the boxes. The result of people who have got ADHD and autism and other mental health conditions is that because the wait is so damn long, people are often self-medicating in entirely the wrong way, right? So it's got to change. It really has got to change. One health board reported that approximate wait of 19 months for a diagnosis. That's just, so you get to your GP, right? Then you get referred. People are waiting approximately 19 months. That's over a year and a half just to go for an assessment. And let's not forget, the assessment is just the first bit, and you may need several. Absolutely crazy. 19 months for diagnosis, and this blew me away. 12 months from diagnosis to get medication. What the actual? I thought, naively, I thought you go to the doctors, you get diagnosed, you get medication. Apparently not, which I thought was disgusting, not going to lie. In some areas, children are waiting, on average, over 2.5 years for an autistic assessment. So a lot of parents, and I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of parents will notice there's something not, well, I don't mean not quite right, because that's the wrong, but different. And then they have to wait 2.5 years, over 2.5 years. Oh, don't get me started. And this was interesting to me. Between 2019 and 2020, and 2022 to 23, 25 to 44-year-olds, that age group, saw the biggest increase in ADHD meds, which tells me that that was a massive increase in diagnosis, and that was around the pandemic. So what they think is, because the pandemic threw people out of their routines, and they were isolated from other people, masking, people mask, it started to slip. And the rise in social media at that time as well, because people were reaching out in any way they could, so they were becoming much more aware of neurodivergent diversity, that there was a massive increase in people being referred for autism and ADHD diagnosis. And this really interested me. It went up by 28% for 10 to 14-year-olds, but this blew me away. It went up by, in the age group of 30 to 34 years, 146% increase. That throws up so many things for me, right? So first of all, how many people are in society right now who aren't diagnosed, who should be, who have learnt to mask, and who are doing okay because they're in a routine? That's terrifying. All those people who aren't getting any help at all. What the actual... And I think these are quite conservative figures, because I think that from my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, a lot of people I know are still waiting 3-4 years down the line. So, consequences of that, consequences of waiting. So you've got developmental. A lot of children who are on the spectrum need a diagnosis early in order to get support, because it hinders their development negatively if they don't get that support whilst they're still growing up. So if you've got, say, a 4-year-old, ideally they need that diagnosis quickly, the assessment, the diagnosis, and a plan in place before they kind of hit the serious part of school, you know, sort of years 4, 5 and 6. And they're not getting it. They're not getting it at all. So there's that. You've got the people who are adults who probably should have been diagnosed as children, who've had to grow up learning ways of coping with society and then developing secondary mental health issues because they don't feel like they fit in, they find life hard, they can't understand social situations, or you know, they struggle with things like sarcasm. They never know quite, you know, whether people are being funny with them or trying to include them in. They feel uncomfortable in social situations. So because they've spent their life masking, all of a sudden they've got other mental health problems, which along with the mental health problems, unfortunately, can come addictions to substances, to alcohol in your head, right? But you say you need to have a conversation with somebody about, you need to book a dentist appointment. Somebody without ADHD can push all of the thoughts to the back of their mind and bring forward, I need to talk about making a dentist appointment, right? And then they can achieve that outcome. Somebody with ADHD can't do that. So all of the thoughts, you know, all of the ideas, all of the lists of things to do are all competing at the same time. And they can't bring one forward and silence the rest in order to focus on that. And the flip side to that is they can silence everything and laser focus on one thing. So, and your brain is like that all the time. That blows me away. Absolutely blows me away. Now, I said to you, my stepdaughter is more autistic than she is ADHD, but she's got traits of ADHD. She's very high functioning, right? So this kid, she makes me smile. She'll get, I don't know, 1,000-piece jigsaw, 800-piece jigsaw. She's 11 and a half. And in Scotland, they go to high school after year 7. So year 7 is spent in primary school, junior school. She will start a really big jigsaw from the inside out. So the last pieces that go in are the edges. That blows me away. But because her pattern recognition is so good. Thank you, Violet. That's how she finds it easier to do. So to her, that's logical. This kid can pick up 2 pens, one in a right hand and one in a left hand, and draw 2 different pictures on 2 separate pieces of paper at the same time, and both are as good as the other. She's amazing. This is why I think people with autism and ADHD are the next step on the evolutionary scale. Honestly, I really do believe we're the ones that aren't. I think they are, because that is just freaking awesome. Now, if you give her a maths problem to solve, you've lost her, because she sees her 3s as 8s. She doesn't see patterns in numbers, but she will draw 2 pictures independently, both with left and right. The school psychologist that came in to assess her got her to do it several times because she'd never ever seen that before. This kid is so quick. And can I just say, for those people who are in here that are neurotypical, let me tell you, Neurodivergent people are some of the most intelligent people you will ever meet. Please do not make the mistake of thinking that they are stupid, because even if they're non-verbal, even if they have other conditions, they are so bright. They will see things that would never occur to you in a million years, right? I'm sure we all know about Fat Freak. Fat Freak has said that he's on the spectrum. He will watch a clip in his show. Sorry about bringing you into it, Fat Freak. But he will watch a clip on his show, right? And I'll process the clip and I'll be thinking, oh, and he'll come out of left field with something that would never, ever occur to me. And I just sit there going, oh my God, I would never, ever have thought that. That is so true. That is so true. That is mad. That is wow. I would never have thought that. So honestly, if somebody who's autistic goes to the effort, of saying something to you about a situation, pay attention, because quite often they've seen something you haven't, or they've come at it from such an odd angle to us that it's mind-boggling, and it opens your mind to such a different way to think. I think, I could sit and listen to Amy, and she is 11 and a half. I could sit and listen to her for hours. I mean, she does talk for hours, but she sees the world in such a different way. Yeah, hear things that people don't hear, see things that people don't see, problem solve in a way that is just out there, left field to me, but absolutely the right thing to do. I honestly believe that people with autism, I am, right, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I'm in awe of them. I am in awe of these people. First of all, I recognise how hard the world is. I recognise that, and I am absolutely in awe of how you navigate life. I genuinely, wow. And I suffer with depression, and I find life hard. So to see life the way you see it, and see it so clearly, and yet not understand the mundane stuff. Wow. Just wow. I take my hat off to you. No, I know, Monique. I bet it is. I honestly, Cloud, I don't know how you do it, and I genuinely am so impressed and have so much respect for those of you that live with these conditions. And if you are the parent of somebody, again, hats off to you, because as a neurodivergent person, I think, a neurotypical person, we think very straight lines. It's very straight lines. It follows a logical, well, here's A and there's C, so I must go through B to get to C, right? And it's almost rigid. It's wooden thinking. Yeah. It's very wooden thinking. We lack, on some level, the imagination to come at it from a different perspective. So I have so much respect for you, because I can go into a social situation. In fact, I'm the opposite. I'll go into a social situation, I'll pick up on everybody's energy in the room, everybody's facial expression. I'll be able to tell you who's having a bad day, who's had a good day, who's tired, who's in pain. I'll empathise with every single one of them, and I'll try to fix them all. That's my superpower. I know, right? So I have the other way, but it's just... Sorry, I'm reading it now. You fixate on things, I can't stop. Yeah. He's grew. Wow, Donna. I can't imagine how hard some of you find it. And if it's all right with you, can I get up a couple of my mods who have got are living with this stuff, just to get the conversation started? And then that's insane, crazy, wow. And then what we'll do is we'll get people up and we'll give it kind of 5 minutes for you to say, it was different. Emotional mob. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? And we'll give people sort of 5 minutes to explain who they are and what's, yeah, so yeah, and what their experiences and what their situation is, and hopefully, so hi, evening, some of you will connect. You know, we can support each other, and also I want to hear how someone like me can help someone like you. I mean, exactly, Jay, that's what I want. I mean, I can understand it from the outside because I can see it with my stepdaughter, but I can understand you being overwhelmed, because I get that, and I get peopled out and all that stuff. But the burnouts and the crash outs and stuff is the thing I don't always fully, I can't always, well, I can't, can I? I don't have them. Type 1 diabetes. Oh, bless you. Bless you. So yeah, tell us how we can help. How can we help? If we're in a conversation with you, what do you need from us? Do you need us to be absolutely direct? Because I found that works with my stepdaughter, is say what I mean and mean what I say. So, you know, tell us. Because honestly, right now, we are listening. So, not to have a conversation. Yeah, just don't talk to me. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, if you see me, ignore me. I'm good. But you know when, yeah. And I'm, no, it's fine. I thought that was brilliant. I have days like that. Just don't talk to me. But there are things that, I've had to change the way I communicate with my stepdaughter. And I see the traits in my husband as well. So I've changed the way I say things. Oh, bless her. Oh, Helen, it's not a label, darling. The thing is, the way I look at it is, you know what? You can tell someone they're something, but at the end of the day, they're still that person, aren't they? You know, I can get quite severely depressed, but I'm still Joe. You don't suddenly rename me Black Shadow. Do you know what I mean? It's just a part of who I am. But it's a big part, but I'm still Joe. You know, I'm still me. Really, Violet? No, Yogi. Yeah, I wouldn't change. This is going to sound insane as well. I love having people who are neurodivergent in my life because I can learn so much. Honestly, I learn so much. And if you're my age group or older, you'll know that the older you get, that you realise the less you know. So every day is a school, and I love it because I get to see the world in a different way, and I think it's brilliant. 6 years an electrician. Wow. Hi, Inspector. We do tend to. Yeah, we do tend to. So if I can get... hi, darling. Sorry. If I can get a couple of people up. So, is Amber in here? I don't know how that did that then. Where's the rest of everybody? There's Foxy. Connecting. Get you. Okay, I'm getting you. Hang on. If you're... oh, there she is. Yeah, I'll try and get as many people up as I can as well. So if you get kicked out, please don't think I'm being rude. It's literally because I'm trying to connect as many people as possible.
Hello.
Hi. talk to me. Tell me your experience. Tell me what's gone on with you.
I'm trying to put my camera on, bear with. There we go. Hi.
Hi.
So after I've commented, I have come with receipts. This is, I don't know if you can see, but it's my official autism diagnosis.
Oh, I don't need to see that. I'm not one of them.
However, it's 15 pages, and just sort of to stick with the narrative. Pretty much every single page, it mentions my oldest dog, Chester. Every single page. It's quite sad, actually. Like, I have his face tattooed on my arm. You can't really see. I have his name on my necklace. But yeah, from start to finish, I went to my GP. I said, I think I've got autism. And he was like, well, why? And luckily, because of the way I am, I had like the biggest list you could ever imagine. So I emailed it over to him, and then he sent it off to the specialists. And from start to finish, from that initial appointment, it was about 3 years up until my diagnosis. And then it was over a year until someone got in contact with me to basically come to terms with my diagnosis and sort of help from there, which I think is a little bit crazy to take over a year to do so.
Insane.
And I was 29 years old when I got a diagnosis.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I was told is that most times women get diagnosed with like depression and anxiety. They don't get autism diagnoses. And then obviously as you get older, that's when they're like, oh, well, maybe you do actually have, autism. And even the specialists that were involved, they said, well, how did they not see this when you were in school? And I'm like, because I went to school in the 90s. Like, it wasn't very well known
wasn't
then.
Even a thing. Yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, maybe it was a thing, but it just wasn't well known.
No.
And then, it's like super, super offensive when there's certain people that are like, oh, we all know that I'm autistic. And I'm like, but you're not. We all know who I'm talking about. I'm not saying names. Hence why I wanted to get involved with this, because it is genuinely offensive and it pushes our diagnoses like down, and kind of it's given a bad name to all of us with autism and ADHD. Especially because just after my diagnosis, they said, well, you might want to go for an ADHD diagnosis as well. And obviously I haven't done that because scrambled brain. So yeah, it's having a brain like this is very messy. It's very stressful, and especially when people don't understand what is going on in your head. Me and my other half, we've been together over 2.5 years now. We've known each other for about 11, 12 years. And we were watching something on Netflix. And I said, well, why is that? And he said, well, because of that. And I said, yeah, but they said this. And I'm taking it literally. And he's seeing it from like, a normal sort of brain thing. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not going crazy. It's just, we take everything literally. And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah. And like I've just said in the comments, a lot of people don't understand the burnout. So I've not long left a job in retail. And for someone with autism, that is hella stressful. So, and especially because I had like extra responsibilities and stuff like that. And yeah, having to mask all day to people, even people that you just want to, the movie Face Off? Yeah. Just do that. And just try and keep yourself calm. Like for me, my main trigger is screaming kids and babies. Right. Like I don't do kids and babies and never have done. But yeah, trying to remain calm around that was really difficult. And a lot of the time I actually had to take myself off of the shop floor just to go and, have a little vape and just chill myself out, because I just, it was just so bad to the point where I was willing to literally rip my own hair and my eyeballs out. Wow. Yeah. And it is incredibly stressful. And I hats off to neurodivergent parents, because I could never do it. And autism is actually hereditary. Same with the ADHD.
Wow, that I didn't know.
Yeah,
Wow.
autism it is, so I can't decide whether it's my mum or my dad that has it. I think it's my dad. He's very sort of routined.
Yeah, it's same with my husband. He's very when he focuses, he focuses. You can ask him
Yeah,
about a
so
film he
the
watched
world
in
does not exist.
1977. Yeah, and he will give you all the lead. He will give you the directors, the producers. I mean, he knows it all. So
I'm like that with Brittany and Staffies.
yeah. He's that. I think we can class that as his special interest. So sometimes
So
conversations
I do
could be a
apologise as
bit.
well. Another thing of people with autism is interrupting people, but we do it without even realising. Like, I do it because I don't want to forget what's in my head, so I need to say it there and then. So I do apologise for interrupting.
Don't. So sorry. we don't
Yeah,
we don't do
how it is.
sorry. No, it's interesting because this is what I want people to hear. This is what I need people. And that person that you were talking about is the very reason I'm doing this live.
Yeah, which is what I thought, and that's why I felt like I needed to get involved, because obviously I've seen everything. I've been a long time lurker of many different people on this app, but it's genuinely offensive.
Yeah. And it clogs up an already overwhelmed system.
Yeah, for someone that's been saying for the past 5 years that they're going to get it sorted, and yet we're 5 years later. I got mine within 3 years, and even then that was viewed as a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dogs are playing in the background, and my other half's telling
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming up and saying how it affects you, you know, and what your experience has been. That's what I want to hear, and I want people to connect, you know, for people that haven't had a diagnosis or are waiting for one, you know, to have someone to talk to.
Yeah,
a place that they can
when
go.
I was at work with my previous job, if I'd got into a disagreement or a falling out or anything with a member of staff that I was on that shift with, I'd want to leave straight away. And I can be confrontational. I'm very much, I believe in what I'm saying. However, I can't say anything to you because you're a manager. I want out of here, and I will leave early. I don't care. And that was always viewed as me pulling a sickie or something, and it wasn't. It was just me. I'm so frustrated, and if I stay in this environment, I'm going to explode. I'm going to have a full-blown meltdown, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. Do you think if you'd been able to kind of have this conversation with your managers or whatever and say, look, you know, my brain's not the same as yours, I have these triggers, or I don't deal very well with this, or if you want to have a conversation with me about, I don't know, customer service, just say what you mean. Don't give me all the, you know, business speak.
Hence why I've got this printed off, my report. I actually gave it to my manager. She didn't read it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
But you're expected to understand a neurotypical person.
Yeah, and work within sort of normal levels of like customer service type of thing. Yes, absolutely. I saw someone post in the comments earlier that this world wasn't built for people like us, and I absolutely get that. But I feel like at the same time, the world is not doing enough to understand people like us.
Absolutely agree.
And that's what I love about you. You're so level-headed. And I said to my other half, just as you came on live, and I said, I love her so much. She reminds me of my aunt. I'm not going to say her name. But my aunt is very level-headed. She's very sort of, she doesn't pick sides. She just says each side how it is. And I love that. People who are blunt and to the point, that's exactly what we love in this community. We don't want to be beating around the bush or sugarcoating. That's bullshit to us. Just say it how it is.
That's why we're all misfits, you see.
Exactly.
We don't fit.
No,
Oh no, I'll tell it how it is. I'm not one of these people that'll go, well, I'm not going to go tough on Miss Red because I like her more than I like Phalange. No.
Absolutely. No. And I loved that you saw it from both sides and you were just like, guys, stop. It's pathetic. It's childhood.
It is.
And I really appreciate it.
It really is. Yeah.
Good listening to that.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much.
No
I appreciate you coming up.
We even set like alarms and everything. So I was like, I'm not missing this.
I'm so glad I never cancelled it then.
Oh no,
Because I
not a
can't
chance.
do that, but I'm glad I didn't.
Oh no, I'm a legit spicy one.
Oh no, I thought, think about your audience, Joe. They're all going
Yeah.
yeah, 8 o'clock on the dot, don't be
Oh, I'm
late.
quite proud of myself for keeping swearing and everything else to the minimum, so I think I've done
Oh,
okay.
bless your heart. No, thank you so much.
No, not a
Thank you
problem.
so much. I really appreciate you. Honestly.
No, thank you for being
I shall
you.
get... Oh, no, you're very well. Oh, well, I'm not changing.
Well,
No
this is
chance,
what we
too
like.
old.
We like people that remain the same.
Yeah, very true.
Don't
Yeah,
like change.
No, well, I'm here whenever. I put up a post the other day to say that my mod's having some time off, but my messages are open. So, if anybody needs any advice there's support out there. Even if you started the journey to
Thank you,
diagnosis. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, bless her. Oh, don't be scared. Don't be daft, woman. Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Thank
I'm
you
just
so
very
much.
loud, and I wouldn't have actually been able to do this if I hadn't had some adult liquid courage, shall we say.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm the same with all of my videos.
Medicinal. It's medicinal.
Exactly, especially when you're spicy.
Oh, bless you. I'll try and get someone else up. But yeah,
Not a
thank
problem.
you. You take care, darling.
You too.
Foxy, talk to me. I will get you up, darling. I will. I promise you, MJ. I promise. Just bear with.
Hello.
Hi, honey.
So my daughter, the health visitor started noticing some little things in her when she was about 2.5. Like when they do 2.5, when they do like the reviews and stuff. And the first thing she noticed is that she lined up all the cars, like in a certain way. And she was like, "Oh, does she do that often?" I was like, "Well, yeah, but I didn't really think about it."
Yeah.
So she wanted to put an assessment through, but obviously with waiting times, and then COVID hit, and then it was up to the school to do it. And the first school she was at absolutely outright refused. They said she's a naughty child, she's jealous of her siblings coming into the world. It was my mental instability that was causing this, that I wanted a diagnosis for her because it would explain. And that school I battled really hard with, to the point that the head teacher basically retired before she was pushed because I reported her to the...
How does this? Okay. It hurts and it's really tight.
Sorry. Basically I reported her to the Board of Governors and Ofsted, and she retired before she could be pushed. So when she went to this new school, they said, we've taken everything on board that the health visitor's written down, like we've watched her for a certain amount of time. The GP absolutely refused to refer her for any assessments.
Mum, look how tight this one is.
Because they said the school had to do it. The school did it, but CAMS here is so overstretched. They told us, this was last year, they told us it was a 7-year waiting list for her to get taken on by CAMS and go for the assessments. She was 8 then, so she'll be 15 by the time. But what the school have done is that they have put her under the Senko, like, without a diagnosis. So they have put certain things in place for her, like one-on-one time, times out, like time out, time in little group. Like they take like 3 or 4 of them out and teach them in a more kind of, she's got like more one-on-one support and stuff. The school have been brilliant, considering she doesn't have it, because I just assumed because she didn't have a diagnosis, they weren't going to help. Especially with my experience with the last school. But they have been brilliant. They've done so much for her in this waiting time, like to the point I looked into going private, and financially it wasn't feasible at all. So we're kind of just working on the the school are helping it as much as they can while she doesn't have a diagnosis, because they're so overstretched.
What happens when she gets to high school? And she's still without a diagnosis?
Yeah, I'm already dreading it, because she starts year 5 in September. And yes, this school has been understanding, but I have no idea what's going to happen when she hits secondary school in year 7 and she still doesn't have any diagnosis or anything that's kind of
official.
Yeah, official. Because I have also had the experience from the other side. My stepson was diagnosed when he was younger with Asperger's. I think that comes under ASD now. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they don't really like to use the term Asperger's anymore, but that's what's on his diagnosis letter, so I don't know what else to say apart from that. And he came to live with us when he was 13, and his secondary school, they had a independent occupational therapist do an assessment on him of what he needs for school. The school ignored it completely. Everything that was written down that he needed, they completely, like, the main one was the occupational therapist felt like he needed a timeout card for when he got overwhelmed and overstressed out in a lesson. The school were like, no, he's gonna not use it in the right way. He's just gonna, so he just walked out because he was so stressed and overwhelmed. He just walked out, and then it was an attendance issue, and we were constantly back and I mean, he's in college now and doing a lot better in the college are brilliant compared to what is, but then again, having that experience also worries me for my daughter, because I'm like, are we going to just have this same issue over and over and over again? And they've actually, again with my son, same issue, the school donated him ear defenders, because one of his main things that he would not eat his lunches at school because he could not cope with the noise of the hall. I mean, I think there's like 1,500 kids in that school, something like, it's a really big primary school. And the school donated him some ear defenders to borrow, and he started eating. He ate a whole meal. But again, with
something so simple.
Yeah, with their eating, it's very trying to explain to the school as well that if it's not bland and beige and kind of devoid of sauce and stuff, they're not interested in eating it.
And do you find as well that, because my stepdaughter suffers with her stomach, so much of what she feels, because she can't express it in the same way I can, it comes out as tummy ache?
Both my eldest daughter and my son both complain, and they both, I don't know if it is linked or not, but they both get constipated really badly, and I didn't know if that was linked or not. Because we don't have official diagnoses, there's no support, there's no kind of here's the help. I'm set to meet with the Senko teacher again in September and just see where we can get to, like, is there any way of going any quicker forward? Because their kind of argument was, well, if it's not going, phone the GP in the school holidays and see what they say, which I did do, and they said no, because their argument is they only see a child for 5 minutes, whereas the school sees them day in, day out over 6 hours a day, so they have more of a better input. So yeah, it's a constant battle. But yeah, so they said 7 years, just because the mental health, I don't know if it's just this area, but their mental health services, both children's and adults, is so completely, I mean, I slightly different, but I'm waiting for counselling that I've been waiting for like years and years, because there's just not the funding and stuff isn't there. And like my eldest, she had play therapy at school. The school defunded that. They said they didn't have enough money for play therapists anymore, which again set her back onto a whole, like, so far backwards again. She really, like, she just struggles with day to day. Like, she's very literal. Like, you know, like the jokes, like, oh, if you say, oh, where's mum, where's dad, and you say, oh, they've run off with the postman, or they've run off with. I said it once, not obviously knowing. I was like, oh yeah. She said, where's dad? I said, oh, he's run off with the postwoman. She absolutely bawled her eyes out, thinking he had genuinely ran off with the postwoman. Like, everything is so. If you say something, that's it. It's the absolute truth.
Yeah. You've got to be really careful, haven't you?
It doesn't help because she has other health issues that are physical as well, and so we're constantly back and forth to hospitals as well. But yeah, she's very blunt and she has no filter. Like, her auntie dyed her hair, well, attempted to dye her hair blonde, and she was like, what's she done to her hair? It looks like noodles. Like, out loud, didn't care. Like, she really, so yeah, that's, it's a...
But do you know what? I would take that over the fake crap that I see in real life and on TikTok every day of the week and twice on Sundays, honestly. I'd rather somebody told me straight than had several faces. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think she just, like, it shows in, like, her lack of being able to hold on to friendships, because as soon as they have one little disagreement, that's it. She doesn't want to be ever friends with that person ever again, because they have that one little disagreement, even if it's something trivial. Sorry, one sec.
That's all right. Amber, are you able to talk, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go on, tell me your bit. I'll come back to Foxy.
Obviously, I've got a little boy called Joey, and he's 7. When he had his 1 year review, the health visitor mentioned autism, and what I thought, because he was doing the same with his toys, lining them all up like certain toys, like you'd get a box of little boxes that you'd stack on top of each other to make a tower, but Joey wouldn't make a tower with it. He would make his own game out of it, and not how it was intended. And there were food signs as well. He's very restrictive. He has had the same dinner every single night for the last 5 years.
Wow.
Literally, he will only ever have chicken nuggets and waffles. That's all he will eat for dinner, or McDonald's, yeah. And he is very bland, like Foxy was saying, with his food. But they had said we're not allowed to put him forward for an autism assessment until they're 2. They just said they weren't allowed in our area, so we had to wait until he was 2 to actually get put on the waiting list, and then it was 5 years from then, so before he got his diagnosis of autism. I was 11 when I was diagnosed, but again, like Foxy was saying, I was diagnosed with Asperger's, even though now they class it all as autism. They don't like to differentiate between high functioning and low functioning like they used to. But it is difficult when your paperwork says Asperger's. Like, it's hard to know what to call yourself.
Yeah.
Because I'm very different to Joey. Like, I can articulate a conversation with somebody, although I won't have eye contact, and I'm very shy, and I relate a lot with what Jade was saying at the beginning. In school, I would walk out of a lot of my classes because I'd just get overwhelmed with the information and the noise and all the social cues you'd have to pick up on in the class, and then I would just be labelled as naughty. And because I hadn't got my diagnosis until I was 11, it was quite difficult for the school, I guess. But yeah,
but
it's hard.
That go-to of this child is disruptive, or this child is naughty, or this child lacks, good levels of parenting. It's such a lazy way of looking at kids' behaviour. It's so bone idle.
Extremely harmful, because as as a adult, I'm 32 now, I still feel those things that I was told about myself, like I was naughty and I was too emotional, and you know, people, I had one teacher say to me, oh well, I see you talking to your friends, you can talk to them, so why don't you talk to the staff? And it was different. I had a different relationship and I trusted those friends, and so those things, for me, I don't know about everybody, but they have stuck with me. And I'd got a lot of bullying and things. I think in secondary school I did really struggle, and I ended up moving schools because of it. Joey's done really well. We've recently moved, and he, up until 6 months ago, he wasn't reading or writing or anything like that. So when we moved here, it literally took the school 6 months, and he's already reading words off the telly and on his tablet and things like that. So I think this school is a lot more understanding, and they just seem to teach in a different way that for him, he seems to really gel with, whereas his old school, for some reason, I don't really know what it was, but he wasn't picking up. So he actually did reception twice. He was held back a year, so he's a year older than all of his classmates.
Can I just say, I was also held back a year, and I'm 24 now, and it really did help.
Yeah, I think it did give him that time to sort of catch up. He's still, some things, you know, he's amazing at maths. He's actually ahead of his class in maths, but a little bit behind with other things. So it's funny because he's a year younger but ahead in maths. So I think it's a I don't know. We're all
my stepdaughter, she's 11 and a half. She's got a reading age of a 15 to 16-year-old.
Yeah.
So there's always something. You know, this is what I mean. Don't underestimate people because they have the label. They're often a lot cleverer than the people they're speaking to.
I really would like, because I made a list. Sorry.
Carry on.
So, with CAMS, it's for the girl beneath me. With CAMS, CAMS was never helpful to me. I joined them when I was like 11. And they sent me straight to the hospital, and I stayed in a hospital for about a month because I was underweight.
Right.
But I was not anorexic. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But it was more to do with I just couldn't eat around people. And it was like that for years. I'm 24 now. I'm a big girl now. I work out and everything. I am a strong girl now. But I used to, like, get acid reflux, and they always say, she's throwing up, she's anorexic. I was like, no, I'm not. You're scaring me. It was my anxiety. And with that, I'm not saying this for me, I'm saying this for her, the mum. And I went to about 5 schools because I kept leaving them, because every time I went to them, I always it was different 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was very, very different.
If you were different, it wasn't like, oh, you're different. It was like, push down the stairs, kind of different.
Stop being different, fit in the box,
It was like, push down the stairs, and then when I went to the teacher, they were like, well, maybe you need to try and act different or dress different. Yeah. And I'm like, I've done through all therapy, so all I can say is now, CAMS, from my experience, is a horrible way, because they always said that I had an eating disorder. But I was like, I love food. I just can't eat it.
Roxy,
I can't eat it. It felt like eating human excrements. Like the texture. I was like, I couldn't eat it. It was like, I love sushi. I love cucumber. I love pasta. I love my certain types of foods. And then when my parents went to bed, I'd go down and cook it and eat it. And then I'd gain some weight. But because I was so underweight, every time I grew, it would make my BMI, they always do this BMI thing. and it has to be the body BMI. So if I was taller than my chubbiness, they were like, you're underweight, and then send me back to hospital. And I spent at least a year in hospital, and it was terrifying.
I was going to say, that must have been horrific.
I hated it because that's where I learned all about people's different, like when they came in, there were like people being in motorcycle accidents and they were under 18. I used to speak to them because I was there for so long. I was like the resident there.
Yeah.
Me and Mickey were both like that as well. I was, because I had type 1 diabetes, and I never did my insulin, so I was always in the hospital. They literally would keep a bed for me that I would.
It was like I was there, and then this girl came in one day and she tried to blah blah blah. Pausing it because otherwise I'll get upset. I love how you introduce your "Hi, it's me." Otherwise I get upset. I just need to say it. So, "Hi, it's me." Can you do it for me? I'll need to fangirl. Go on, do it.
Thank you.
Do
Only
it.
me. Just popping in. Have a quick word with them.
I love it. Sorry. Anyway, back to the subject. Sorry.
Carry on.
It makes me happy, so I don't want to be upset because this is not.
That's okay. I get you.
But
I get you.
I remember just being in there for ages until I was about 17. I got better, and then I didn't because something happened. What E-bar lies about.
Yeah, got you.
And then I was back in there for about a month, but they wouldn't let me out. But because I was still on the kids' ward, I just had to listen to all these babies, and I hate children. But this one baby was the cutest baby, and she only stopped crying when I was there, and that's all I remember. Anyway, right. Throwing up is usually... Sorry, I've got a whole page because I was writing it down when she was saying everything. Throwing up is usually misdiagnosed as acid reflux, but it could be anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I used to puke all the time from anxiety, and everyone used to be like, "Oh, you got acid reflux." And I was like, how could I have acid reflux? And nobody believed me that I was just so paranoid. The next thing, school help. Like, for me... Sorry, I'm yelling.
It's all right.
I'm getting too passionate.
You're doing good.
School help, when I was at school and they had them counsellors, they used to tell me, maybe you need to fit into the norm. And they were like, you've got a really funky style, but you can also change it to fit in. Because I got pushed down the stairs the first day I joined that school. And then somebody else because I'd been to this behavioural school before. I am literally the student that had no detentions. I was the best student ever. I was the quiet one that did nothing out of order. But I was the one that everyone knew because I'd cry a lot or throw up a lot or wet themselves, even due year 8. So I was literally the best student. I wasn't very smart, but school only told me, maybe you just put yourself out there to be bullied. And I was like,
yeah, because that's what you want.
How can you do that? Like, okay, yeah, in the real world, what if I just walk down the street and I'm putting myself out there to be, you know what I mean?
Crackers.
Like, how could you say that? Now I'm older, I understand it, but I always used to take things legitimately. Also, I'm talking to her when I was younger, and it is the best thing I've ever done. I'm never going to not take things legitimately, because now I can deal with sarcasm, but I have to ask. And they may think I'm slow, but I know I'm not slow.
No.
So I have the upper hand. They think, oh, no, she thinks she's taking it all legitimately. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just had to ask. And now you think I'm dumb? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you do not have to worry about your kids because they will find their footing. I found my footing. And they will too.
Yeah, well, I encourage my stepdaughter to be herself. I encourage her to not fit in. If that makes
my
sense.
dad
Just
used to
be
say,
you.
don't you dare fit in. My mum, sorry, that's my dog.
It's all right.
Usually because somebody's bouncing a ball outside our house. No, my dad used to say he used to have these severe anxiety attacks. He used to work for fucking...
It's all right, don't worry.
Didn't mean to swear. He used to work for, like, building planes and stuff. He is the cleverest man I've ever met, and he used to have anxiety issues. And he is just like me. My mum, on the other hand, is a nasty person. But I love her. She still lives with me. We're still together. We're still like a full family. We've worked our differences out. We were nasty towards each other. We were like, nah, nah. And now we're like, it brought us closer together. So all I have to say to
Amber,
just give it time. Don't try.
Perfect.
The more you worry, the more it's going to worry them. Because the more my mum and dad worried about me, the more I was like, something wrong with me.
Things are wrong. I
thought I was going to die. And I had that massive panic attack ages ago, even when I was 20.
Yeah.
Because they were so worried about me. I still have to live with my parents, unfortunately. But I'm not like the elf bar.
I get you.
But
no, I appreciate you coming up and saying, you know, what your lived experience is. I just wanted to give her
some credit that your kids have a future, because I'm alright. I'm not amazing, but she has... Don't ever second guess your kids for being the way they are, because there is a future.
Yeah.
This is the future. I got tattoos. I'm able to go out.
No, good for you.
I don't go out though. I choose not to.
Same. There's people out there.
I've got agoraphobia right now. It's kicked back in.
Bless you.
In the past year. But I'm still going out, but it has to be with my parents. A bit of a...
Life's not beating you. You're doing brilliant.
No, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Exactly.
Nothing's going to get me down. And that's what she needs to realise, because her kids are going to get a good future. I'm happy.
Yeah, they are. Good. I'm really glad, sweetheart. Thank you so much for coming up.
No, I just really want to say that and say my favourite thing again, please.
Only me. Popping in. Have a quick word.
No, it's only me. I love it when you say it. And whenever I come off, I'm like, ah!
Well, tune in next Friday, because that's how I'm doing my show.
Oh my God. It's the Jojo show. I love it. Sorry.
Popping in with Jojo.
Thank you for having me.
All right, darling. You take care. Gosh, that was, wow. I am learning so much, let me tell you. Ali. Hi, Victoria. Speak to me, Ali. You're right.
Yeah, darling, yeah.
Yeah.
So I come to this from multiple angles, I would guess. So I am the very proud mum of 3 ASD boys. 2 also have ADHD. They have it due to an umbrella medical condition called fetal valproate syndrome, and that is caused by a couple of certain anticonvulsant medications in epilepsy that causes birth defects. But that's for a whole other live.
We need to do a series on that.
That's a proper different live on its own. So all three of my boys have it. I'm on the waiting list because of the same umbrella condition. It affects down as well as it affects up.
Yeah.
But I could be on the list for, well, who knows. But equally, I was also a paediatric nurse and now have a degree in psychology. So I've learnt a lot from the medical side as well. But all three of my children are very, very different. So anybody with multiple children will probably say the same thing in the comments. No one ASD individual is exactly the same as anybody else. So my eldest, who is 27, is ASD and ADHD, and he was very capable to go into mainstream school and go off to work. He has his meltdowns, but we've helped get him some techniques, and when he went through school we had lots of explanations. As long as we kept the routine, he was quite happy.
Yeah.
My youngest is incredibly ill with not just that, but with seizures and things himself. He is unfortunately 19 and just been told that he may never be able to work or live independently. So I've kind of gone from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
And then my middle child spent his education going through the specialist school system.
Yeah.
He was completely non-verbal until he was nearly 8.
Wow.
I had to fight. So by 3, we were already in the system for physio and other things. And I'd said, look, he's so frustrated. He wants to communicate.
Oh, bless
and he would get so angry because he couldn't tell you he wanted a drink of juice or a biscuit.
Yeah.
So he would scream to get your attention and get so angry. And so I had to fight to get help and support to teach him Makaton.
Yeah.
So I had a proper Makaton tutor as well as good old Mr. Tumble on the telly. And we slowly taught him Makaton and he learnt it. And the whole idea of Makaton is that it is a kind of precursor to speech. So those children who have the ability to talk, once they learn the verbal word, should drop the sign, which is what we found. And if they don't drop the sign, then you would maybe move on to BSL.
Yeah.
For adult communication.
For those that don't know, in the chat, Makaton's like sign language, but it's more basic, isn't it? It's easier. It's
very basic.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant for children to learn until they can talk.
Yeah.
So he learnt sign language, the Makaton sign language, and we also had something called a PEX board, which is a picture exchange systems board. So you would have a picture of a toilet that he could point to. Yeah. And you could plan out his whole routine because he needed very strict guidance for his daily routine. So we used both. As he learnt to talk, he naturally dropped the sign until he went into meltdown. Oh. And when he was very overwhelmed, and he's nearly 21 and he still does the same to this day without realising, he has no idea he's doing it. When he gets overwhelmed and goes into meltdown, he will sign to us it's just second nature. So he will sign, and then I will very calmly say, that's okay, we can do this. And we get him through it. He still lives at home. He will be able to live independently. He, you know, we were told at the age of 4, he would maybe never talk. He would never succeed. And I was like, okay, we will see what happens.
Yeah. It's like them putting barriers towards his development.
Yeah, it's like they've already decided his fate at the age of 4. Yeah. I'm extremely proud to say that young man went on to get GCSEs and do 3 years at college to get to his level 3 in hospitality.
That's amazing.
And proved them all wrong. Which was just, go on, son. And has held a job for 2 years working in a bar at the military camp.
Wow.
Because it is a little quieter. So he'll come home and go, rah! But it's like, that's okay, breathe.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. I'm not being
like
funny, but if I spent that amount of time around people, I think I'd be as well.
Yeah, especially as they're getting drunker as the night goes on.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, they amaze me every day, and I'm so proud to be their mum.
Bless your heart.
But they are very routine based, so we couldn't do surprises in the school holidays. Even to go and see relatives, we would have to say, tomorrow morning we are going to get up at 7 o'clock. We are then going to brush our teeth, have a wash, get dressed, have our breakfast, and then at whatever time it was, we're going to get in the car and we are going to drive to X, Y, and Z, and we are going to visit Nana and Grandad. We will stay for this amount of time, have tea, and then we will come home, and then we will do bedtime routine. And it was the only way that if we put them in the car to take them somewhere we hadn't told them, we knew about it. We really knew about it. And we still have that today. Tea time is, you can't say to the kids, I say kids, they're grown men, bless them, but we can't say to them, what would you like for tea?
Yeah.
Because all we will get is food.
Yeah. It's first of all, they'll answer it literally, and then it's overwhelming, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's too much choice. So we literally have to say, tonight it is curry and rice for tea. And they go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that a calendar really helps.
Yeah.
Writing it all down so that...
Whiteboard in the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that they can see visually.
Yeah. It makes a massive difference, doesn't it? I know this is slightly off topic, but when my hubby had his stroke, his ability to focus on anything or remember stuff really diminished, and it's amazing. Since I got a whiteboard and stuck it to the fridge, he now knows and remembers to write down his cereals run out, or, you know, whereas before I'd do the shopping and then he'd tell me afterwards, oh, by the way, did you order milk? No, did you tell me it had run out? Do you know what I mean? But now we've got the board. Perfect. So I think it's a bit similar. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anything that can reduce the external stimuli.
Yeah.
If there is too much stimuli, that is when you will find the majority, not always, but the majority of the meltdowns and will happen because they're just too overwhelmed. So by reducing that, we found in our house really helped. Because even if it was just a note on to say, Mum's working late tonight, they knew not to panic that I wasn't there at the time I would usually be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, That's my wee story.
I have to know the night before what we're having for tea the following night in order to answer my stepdaughter's inevitable question that morning, which would be, what's for tea?
Absolutely. And that doesn't change. That doesn't change.
Oh.
Mine's 27, still lives at home and asks the same question.
I know, but I get moments where I think, oh my God, I don't know what day of the week it is. Just bear with me.
Yeah, like I haven't had breakfast yet. What do you mean? What's for tea?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I've just washed up from tea tonight. What do you mean? What's for tea tomorrow? I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah.
But
which is why she likes a meal planner. If she can see it written down. Yeah. Which for me makes shopping easier. But, and I'll often get suggestions on the meal plan as well.
Yes.
I don't really like that.
Yeah. I mean, my middle one, who is nearly 21, because we have taught them to be self-sufficient while supported at home. So to do his own washing, to cook for himself. But if he is left to cook for himself, it is spag bol. That's it. That's what he will. And he will eat that every night of the week if he has to cook for himself. Because otherwise it's too much choice.
I can understand that, yeah.
Yeah, he can't, if he opens the fridge and that he just panics and then closes the fridge, and he'd rather not eat than make a choice.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Completely understand that.
Yeah, but it is, and it's a hard job. I mean, as much as life is hard being on the spectrum yourself, and they are pretty certain I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a parent, have you felt supported? Have you been given kind of...
No.
Yeah,
it's a fight.
See, that bothers me.
It's a fight the entire way through. It's a worthwhile fight, and all us parents there will do anything for our kids. Any parent.
Of course.
But when you are having to argue, like Amber said, argue for support in school, argue for a little bit of understanding, and these are educators who, as part of their course, cover educational needs, and they have a Senko who has been specially trained in educational needs, who they can go to for advice. So my advice to parents who are with younger children is keep in regular contact with your child's Senko if you are not doing that already. If your child has, they call it different things in different places, but an IEP or an individual education plan, some call it a pupil passport, that is what the school does within the school system out of their budget to support a child with additional needs. So they can put so much in place within their own school budget. So it could be a toilet pass, it could be a breakout pass, because it's only a bit of card with maybe a red side or a green side.
Yeah.
They are supposed to do that prior to going for an EHCP. Not always. It's not always needed.
Supposed to, yeah.
But they are supposed to. And if your child has one of them, you are supposed to be invited at minimum of once a year, ideally once a term, to review your child's targets and progression. If you're not getting that, nag for it.
Right.
When your child is going up to secondary school, or the next school if you're in a 3-tier system, if your child does not have an EHCP or a diagnosis, you can approach the next school and ask for a pre-meeting with the school Senko there. Explain how your child presents. Like, we know every child is different.
Yeah.
If they are being supported at whatever level in the primary school, what that support looks like, and discuss what that school is. Are they going to continue that? Will they provide anything different? Because as the child grows, more is needed.
Yeah, this is what my friend went through. So her daughter was diagnosed in primary school. However, when it came to doing she'd finished primary school, she was going up to high school. All of a sudden, the funding stopped, and it was like, oh well, we've helped you now. You're obviously over it. You're better.
Yeah.
So she had to fight and appeal and fight to get the same level of help at high school. Utterly ridiculous.
And
Absolutely
as they get in primary school, when they get to year 6, any child on the SEND register with something like ASD, ADHD, even onto dyslexia and things like that, they are allowed extra time in their exams. And
I did not know that.
they can qualify for extra time in their exams. The paperwork has to go in from the school, but they are entitled to that. And if needs be, they can ask for provision for the child to be in a separate room.
Yes,
as long as they have the invigilators.
Yeah.
But yes, they're entitled to extra time. It's so that they can just have that little bit longer to process and settle their emotions down. But they're entitled to that. And then the same again when they get to secondary school for their GCSEs and above in post 16, they're entitled to that. If the school are fobbing you off, tell them if they don't do it, you'll go to the education authority.
Yeah.
It is a fight, and it's a hard fight. And sometimes you go to bed at night and think, why I can't keep doing this. But we find a way. We shouldn't have to fight for our children.
You shouldn't. That's. Do you know what? That's the thing, and that's why I've done this live, because the person that we all know, who's sitting there going, I have this and I have that, and I just need to be, has absolutely, first of all, no idea what they're talking about, and secondly, has a complete lack of understanding that they're clogging up an already clogged up system, that they could be waiting years. They're not going to get the diagnosis they want, for starters.
Absolutely.
Because they are not that person. They've
read off Google and thought that they could.
They are not. They are taking a spot or pushing a legitimate assessment back for somebody who desperately needs that diagnosis. And also, at 21, they don't do anything to help themselves.
Absolutely.
And the misinformation that's put out there, this is why I wanted to do this live. I wanted people to understand that person Hetty does not represent real life, and Hetty does not represent what is actually going on, or the actual, I can sit there and do a bit of stimming and a bit of stuttering and have a bit of a meltdown and tell everybody I've got autism. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. There is so much going on behind the scenes. Like people have said, toileting can be affected.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some children will not go. Some children will go more. Some children will smear. Yeah. Some children will hide. It depends. Yeah. So, then there is the food. There's so many sensory things. So food is a big issue. If something is too crunchy, if something is too mushy, it could be the colour of the food. Yeah. They don't want food touching on their plate. They'll eat chips, sausage and beans, but as long as the beans don't touch the chips and the sausages. There is so much that goes beyond what people...
Which is why, in my professional opinion, they are going to be absolutely told where to go. things like, right, so my stepdaughter would go to school, and then because she was overwhelmed, she would deal with what she controlled what she could control. So the first thing that happened were her socks and shoes came off, because she controlled that. So, right, so that's bothering me. I can't do anything about that, but I can about this. You know, things like that. And normally, people, it doesn't matter when you're diagnosed, you've probably been like that all your life.
Oh, 100%. School uniforms I found were the worst, because the materials they make school uniforms out of was itchy, scratchy, too hot, too cold. Had to cut the tags out of everything. They didn't like the labels being sewn. Yeah, they didn't like the labels that were sewn into the sweatshirts because they scratched across their chests.
Yeah.
And rubbed, and it made it itchy, or it didn't feel right.
There are so many things about Hetty. Yeah, there are so many things about Hetty that scream liar. And so when they sit there and go, I'm clearly autistic. Yeah. No, you're not. And there are people sat in your life thinking that's what autism looks like. And that's not autism, darling. That's narcissistic personality. Completely different. You know?
A person who has ASD, ADHD that stims don't recognise they're stimming.
They have no idea they're doing it.
It's an uncontrollable act.
Subconscious.
Yeah. They have no idea they're doing it.
And they can't turn it on and off.
No, they can't. One of mine is at certain points I'll tap my feet. I have no idea I'm doing it until my other half goes, excuse me? And I'll go, what? Feet. And I'll go, oh. I have no idea I'm doing it.
You, Jack.
So it's that portrayal that they are putting out there has offended an entire community.
Yeah.
Plus the parents of that community.
Yeah. But it's the people who are in that community in one capacity or another who are telling Hetty, you're lying. You're not, this is not true. And Hetty's just going, I can't believe you're not validating my life and how I feel. And it's like, but we're validating our lived experience by telling you you're not living it. You don't have it.
Exactly.
It's
so infuriating. One of my consultants asked me what I wanted to achieve, and I said, my job, I see as their mother, is to make them as capable to live in today's society as I can. Job done.
Yeah. Same.
Overall, that is it. That's what I need to do as a parent. I would absolutely change the world for my children. I wouldn't change my children for the world.
Oh, yeah. Totally with you. I'm forever saying to my stepdaughter, because she's one of these that, you know, she will fall out with people, and then she'll panic because she's fell out with them and all that. And I'll be like, come. If they don't get you, put them in your ear view. You don't need them.
Absolutely.
You know, and that just...
Can Amber come back up, Jo?
Huh?
Can Amber come back up?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Just put it in the chat.
We need to get Vix to talk as well.
I'll drop down because I've taken up far too much of your time.
That's all right. Don't worry. Sorry. Carry on, Vix. It's just really interesting to me.
I'm just letting the lady underneath me finish what she wanted to say first.
She's finished.
No, you go ahead, Vix. I'm done.
So I have two kids. I have one I was pretty lucky. He got diagnosed at the age of 3. He's now 9. I have an older daughter at 13 who has always struggled with anxiety since she was 4.5. I struggled to get her to school from the day she started. They used to have to pull her off me to get her into school. She's hit, obviously we're in Scotland for 3rd year. It's the year before the prelims, before the exams. She's seen educational psychologists in primary 7. They said she was just masking her brother's symptoms of autism. But as she's got older, the struggles are more severe. The food changes, the sense that she doesn't go out the house, she doesn't go out her room, barely get her to clean her room. things like that. But I was very, very lucky. Obviously, my wee boy, he was non-verbal to the age of 5. He was put into an LCSE, which we call in Scotland, which is a language unit, because he was non-verbal. He started speaking. I can't shut him up now, to be honest. But he is still in the language unit. But can I just state to anybody that struggles with toileting, I fought with the NHS for pull-ups to let my son be more independent at toileting. They refused, my health board refused. I went to my MP and I stated about the Discrimination Act about disabled people, and the MPs got me my pull-ups for my child. So anybody that struggles with pull-ups to try and get their kid independent, please, please, please go to your MP, because your MP can help so much more. I still get pull-ups for my son now and he's 9. But my issue is now my daughter was refused by CAMHS twice. She was sexually essayed by a peer a couple of years older than her when she was 4.5. And got no justice, obviously, in Scotland. The legal age is under 12, they can't do anything about it. So she has had anxiety her whole life, pretty much. And CAMHS refused her twice because her mental health was not severe enough to be seen by CAMHS. Her anxiety is just out of control. Educational psychologist, obviously, I said about them saying that. So now I'm fighting again. She's been on the waiting list for a neurodivergent assessment since 2022. They are still on 2021 assessments in Scotland with the NHS. So I've had to go to my MP again. And they have to do a mandate to get the NHS Lanarkshire, where I am, to find out how far it's going to be or how long it's going to be. So my daughter's basically, she's in high school, 3rd year, being failed by the NHS, being failed by the system. She'll probably be 18 before she's even diagnosed with anything but CAMHS. I wouldn't even thank you for. My nephew's 20 now. He was failed by CAMHS because he wasn't the same at home as he was in school. They wouldn't see him. So he was taken off their system too. And it's just, I just find it a joke. I mean, it's ridiculous. I guess the laws and kind of things are different in Scotland as it is to England, but the fight's still the same.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be. I'm sorry, the best people to know that something is different about your child is the parents.
100%.
And if not the parents, the school. Because it was I noticed it in my stepdaughter but didn't say anything because I've already raised my kids, so I kind of know what again, I don't like this word, but the norm is. Mm-hmm. So I already thought, wonder what that is. But the school picked it up and ran with it. But it shouldn't have to be the parents screaming at you. I mean, honestly, this happens everywhere. How many times have we heard a parent has taken their child to A&E because they are absolutely certain there is something seriously wrong and they've been sent home? Yep. And they're back within 24 hours and they're in intensive care. Honest to God, this world baffles me. It baffles me completely. This is why I do the stuff I do, because I'm trying to make, a lot of it is to help me make sense of things as much as everybody else,
Of course, your stepdaughter's near the same age as my daughter, right? She'll be 14 in December, but they're kind of similar ages. Obviously, yeah. It's hard, especially when they're preteen, teen, and it gets a wee bit more difficult. My son's 9 now. Obviously, he was diagnosed at 3, so I've been able to kind of grow with him and his autism and the way he works. Whereas with my daughter, it's kind of, I'm struggling more because I can't, it's not the same. I knew his signs, his ways, his things, his stims. Yeah. And all that, but whereas my daughter, it's like she's just going more and more into a wee shell, and I'm like, I need to help her, but I don't know how because nobody's helping me. I fought for everything for my son, whether it be OT, speech and language, physiotherapy, wheelchair services, whatever. I fought for everything and I got everything he needed. But with her, I just can't help her because nobody's helped me get the diagnosis. If you don't get a diagnosis, you get nothing. It's that plain and simple, and it's sad. It's really, really sad.
Well, I don't know whether Tartan's still in here. Tartan's in our neck of the woods. The diagnosis that my stepdaughter had, she got it in England, so she brought it with her to Scotland, so she's not had to... Yeah, there's Tartan. Tartan's got...
I'm in Lanarkshire, in Glasgow. Yeah, she's ready for it. Yep.
But will the system be the same, as in there'll be a standard over in Scotland, or is it going to be completely different depending on the county?
Standard, but I think it goes on the health board, so that you've got like...
It's definitely location based, how well you get treated or seen, or how quickly you... Yeah, absolutely. But, Tartan, is there any way that you two can connect, and maybe if there's some sort of support...
I've just followed that.
I will give you as much as information as I possibly can.
It'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I've had to go to my MP, and they've asked me, they're sending me a mandate. I don't know if my daughter has to fill it out, or if I have to fill it out for the MP to go to my health board to see, look, how long is she going to be on this waiting list? She's been waiting since 2022.
It's not acceptable.
No, it's not. And even the MP's kind of assistant or whatever said that's no use. We're in 2025, nearly 2026. They're 4 years behind the diagnoses. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. And, the impact of this on her long term is crazy. That's the thing for me as well. Yes, okay, there is funding that needs to be in place in order to help these children in the school system. Put that against the absolute fortune you're going to end up spending on the adults that you failed as children, because they've got all sorts of issues. And I'm talking from, social anxiety, not being able to work, to self-medicating, and all the things that come in, come along with that. You are absolutely just you're pushing the problem back. You're just pushing it back, and it's going to come back at you 1,000,000 times worse than if you just stepped in and done the job you were asked to do.
And in Scotland, sorry, Jojo, we don't have the same in England. England have the right to choose. We don't have that in Scotland. We have not that choice. So I was looking into like a private, and I can't afford it. It's like 3, 4, 5.
It's ridiculous.
If you want to try and get your child a private diagnosis, and I can't. I'm on my own with 2 kids. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't afford that.
This is where I get my frustration from. Thank you, Gnomes. This is what drives... Right. I'm just going to talk about gifting for a second. Oh, bless your heart, Froggy. It's not a problem. This is what does my head in, right? So you can sit there and watch the worst of the worst on this app, and they're getting gifted huge amounts of money, and they're spending it on first class travel and a brand new car and blah blah blah. And I sit there and I think the things I would be able to do, the help that I would be able to give people like you, if I was earning thousands a night, it's just incalculable. Do you know what I mean? And that's what frustrates me. Yes, I get that people gift as and when they can, and I am so grateful. But when you get these people who are absolutely ungrateful, who have this expectation that they deserve somehow this money, and then they don't do anything with it, they treat themselves, it drives me in. Honestly, it drives me potty. I would love to be able to say to you, you and other people who aren't getting diagnosis, not a problem, come to me, we'll sort it and I'll pay for it. The Misfits will pay for it, and I would kill to be able to do that for you. And it drives me. This is why I get so angry with these creators that sit there and say the worst of things to each other and send out takeaways, and this is what makes me cross. That's why I go for them like I do, because I just think you have no understanding or appreciation of what you are able to achieve, and yet I'm sitting with people who are genuinely in crisis, and it frustrates me because I can't do anything.
Yeah, it makes you sick. It really does.
Ugh. Honestly, it really does. But if you talk to Tartan, and maybe she will know some supporting stuff. My inbox is it's open. And I will give you as much support as I possibly can. I just, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're dealing with it.
I just wish the NHS system was better. It's broken. It's really, really broken, and it needs some repair. And Labour ain't doing it, I'm afraid. So
yeah,
what can we do?
Yeah, Tess, that's absolutely spot on. These people, there's no amount that is enough. None at all.
They're failing the kids. It's the kids of the next generation, isn't it? It really is. It's like, all my daughter wants to do.
They're talking about, they go on the telly and say, it's the 18 to 24-year-olds that aren't working. Wonder why? They're not working for a reason. Because they were failed as children, and now their problems are 10 times worse, and they're not able to work, a lot of them. I'm not saying there aren't lazy ones out there, but a lot of them, if you go case by case basis, I bet you'll find they suffer with depression, they suffer with anxiety, because all of the issues that should have been dealt with when they were children or when they were first approached by parents haven't been dealt with.
Exactly.
What do you expect?
Fighting a battle you can't fight unless they help you, and they're not helping because the money's it's not there, is it, really, to be honest?
No, and it should be. This is what I don't understand. My grandma always used to tell me, and I don't know whether this is a Scottish thing because she was Scottish, buy cheap, buy twice, right? And I think that applies to everything. If you don't want people to have type 2 diabetes, right, you deal with issues before they become the problem.
100%.
So, if you don't want people to get any kind of lung disease, educate them on not smoking. It's really simple. I don't, if you don't want people to be in prison because they have psychological or mental health issues, get them before they get there and help them. I don't understand. To me, it's common sense. It's just common sense. And it's dying a death. Common sense, it really is.
It's baffling, but I appreciate your time, Jojo. Thanks for hearing me.
You are very, very welcome, darling.
Let me share my story. But I hope you have a good night.
You're very welcome.
Everybody else gets what they need to get for their kids. Fight.
Yeah.
Keep fighting, Rose. Keep fighting.
All right, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. No worries.
Hi, Jojo.
Oh, yes, wait. Sorry, I can feel myself ranting.
Sorry. I just wanted to finish because I jumped down before I was finished. Because Joey was getting a bit upset without me there to play games with him and that.
That's all right.
But I wanted just to add a little bit, and then I'll drop down. But I without meaning to invalidate anyone's experience or opinions, I tried to remind myself that autism can be extremely, extremely hard, but there are times that can be extremely beautiful. I have the kindest son in the whole world. If we are walking down the street and somebody hurts himself, even if he's never met them, doesn't know who they are, he will instantly go to them and make sure they're okay, and just without you even saying anything.
That's beautiful.
Right, it's those parts that you have to remember when those times are really hard, because they do come thick and fast, and it is difficult. But you also get to an age where I'm 32 now. As a child and teenager, I probably would have paid money to not be autistic, but now I think it makes me different. I quite like it. I
embrace it
a lot more than most people, and although that can be difficult sometimes, it also makes me really kind, and I like that. So
fiercely loyal.
Yes.
You'll do anything for people that you care about.
Yep.
This is me talking about you from personal experience now. And you educate me all the time, because you'll say something. I mean, you drive me nuts because you keep saying sorry, but you'll say something. I'll put something in the WhatsApp chat, and you'll come back with something, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I never thought of it that way. That makes so much more sense than the way I was thinking about it." And I probably don't say that enough to you. And that
as well.
That's a gift. That is an absolute gift. Honestly,
bless you.
I think it's amazing. I am so grateful that you are my friend. Honestly, and you are very straightforward. I love that. I take straightforward every day of the week. Honestly, you can't offend me. If you're telling me the truth and you're being straight with me, you can't upset me.
I much prefer that, because if I have to sit there and second guess how I think somebody's feeling compared to what they're saying, whether they were telling me the truth or whether they were trying to save face, or, you know, all those little things, I will sit there up all night with no sleep, constantly thinking about that, and it just becomes overwhelming. And then I've also got a little boy who's got his own difficulties with it, so it's hard being an autistic parent to an autistic child, but you know,
that's a lot of juggling,
we all make
isn't
it work, don't we? No
Yeah.
matter what our kids have got, no matter what we've got, we make it work. But it is difficult, and the help, unfortunately, isn't as readily available as it should be.
It absolutely should be. But you are doing an amazing job. You are, you know.
Thank you.
Joey's going to be absolutely fine. And he's got all of us. He's got this extended family that are also going to be fighting for him.
I will always remember those times where I wasn't sure that he would be fine, and I was thinking, will he ever talk, or, you know, will he ever use the toilet and not a nappy? Will it, because all those things came late, but they did come, and that's what
Absolutely.
I try and remind people of. You might be really struggling now, but things will improve. You know, they will never go away. They will never be perfect, or whatever perfect is, or normal, whatever normal is, but you will get there.
Don't do normal.
No.
Don't do normal. Normal is overrated, honestly, and normal is boring. Sorry for those people that are normal, but I'd rather have diversity in any friendships and any relationships than normal.
Yeah,
I think the normal thing.
The world would be screwed, basically, if it wasn't for us neurospicy people, because half of us are the inventors and
the computer programmers and absolutely, you absolutely are. I think you lot run the world. I think you will be running the world, and not the too distant future. Honestly, I really believe that people with autism, ADHD, all of that stuff, I honestly, first of all, stop labelling things, but also I think you are the, and I genuinely believe this, I sound like a conspiracy nut, but I genuinely believe you are next on the evolutionary scale. I think you are ahead of us neurotypical people, genuinely, because of the way you think. I don't know whether it's because scientifically you're utilising different parts of your brain or more parts of your brain than a neurotypical person would, but the way you see the world it's beautiful to me, and it's so enlightening, honestly. And I know that the flip side of that, it's really hard to navigate life, and that's why I think those of us who are neurotypical need to understand and listen when we're told by neurodivergent people, please operate this way because that makes it easier for me, or speak to me this way, explain it this way. We need to listen. We really need to listen.
I have a few members of the family who every single time they see Joey, I have to remind them, because they'll say a joke, or they'll say, "Oh, Captain Underpants," because he's wearing pants or something, and he gets hysterically upset over it. And I say, please, every single time. So I think a lot of it is people don't want to listen.
I think they don't want to listen, and I think some people, and I know this is going to sound dreadful, but they see people with autism, especially those people who may be non-verbal or, don't look anyone in the eye or all the rest of it, and view them somehow as less than, and they're not. I think that's a lot of the way people view disability, that somehow, because we lack the ability in one area, we lack ability in all areas. Trust me, we make up for it. What we can't do is not who we are, it's what we can do, you know? And I sit here as a disabled person and I get frustrated with my life. But you know what? I've decided this is what I can do. I can go online. I do have the confidence to sit here and waffle for 2 hours. How can I make that help? How can I help people by doing that? You know? And so that's my superpower. I can come on here.
I think that's what we all find so refreshing with you is it's easy to have this conversation because you are listening, you're ready to listen, you're ready to suggest something that maybe we hadn't thought of, or, and I find that really helpful, more than really,
and I suffer with the same things. This, I don't know whether anyone knows, but I've got a show coming up on Friday. Mm-hmm. And the closer I get to the show, the more I think, oh my God, the self-doubt comes in. And I have that little thing on my shoulder going, what are you doing? You can't do that. It's going to fail. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pushing through it because I'm really stubborn. And I just think, no, you're going to do it and also because I don't like letting people down. But I suffer with that as well. I might come across as super confident. I'm not, trust me.
No,
I'm not.
You've got this. We all know you've got this. You can do that. You can do it. We know you can.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing it, is because people will support me even if they tune in and they don't hear me for the first 5 minutes because I would turn something on.
Well,
or where is she? We can see the screen, but she's not there. Which is more than likely going to happen, not going to lie. But yeah. But I'm so glad that people have been able to come and talk about this stuff, because it needs talking about. And I want people to know that every time Hetty comes out and says, I've got this and I've got that and that's happened to me and all the other, believe me, I've got you. I will fire back as fast as I possibly can, in order to completely make her look utterly ridiculous. Yeah. And that is what I'm doing, by the way. So yeah, I will do what I need to do. So if there's any sort of thing as a neurodivergent ally, an ally of the neurodivergent community, I'm right here. And I've got a big gob. Not gonna lie.
It helps.
It does. It does. Like Corey trying to tell me to shut up. Oh dear.
Really?
Don't like that touch paper.
Nobody can tell our Joe to shut up.
People have tried. Bigger and better people than you. Trust me, it's never going to happen. Yes, Hetty is alpha. We call her Hetty because she's she breathes in a lot of stuff, dust. She collects a lot of dust. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, of course you can, Gems.
Right, I'm going to jump down anyway.
All right, sweetheart. You take care. Yeah, Witch Queen, you're not alone, darling. You are not alone. There's lots of us that are... That was the wrong thing. There's lots of us that find that particular person rather annoying. Hi, Gems.
Oh, good evening. Thank you for having me on.
No worries.
I just wanted to say this is... when I came onto your live and I seen this going on, I love my job. I must admit, I love my job. I've been working with alternative provision now for over 6 years. And the progress that we have made within the West Midlands. Now, I can't talk for, anywhere else, but I know what's going on in the West Midlands. And we are now taking primary children from the age of 5 all the way up to post 16. Okay, within provision for those learners. And I'm sorry, I was getting quite a few questions because I was putting it in the chat, and I was getting quite a few questions coming back. So that's why I wanted to feel the need to maybe come on and explain a bit more.
Yeah,
so basically,
absolutely.
Alternative provision is for learners not necessarily with an EHCP, but the post-16 pathway is for learners with EHCPs, because I know somebody was asking me if that was local to here in Warwickshire, and we do have provisions in Warwickshire, but basically it is a provision there to help students with or without an EHCP that cannot or are unable to access school 5 days a week. Alternative provision cannot be the main source of education, so they still need to be on roll with their school. But within Coventry, where I am, I'm saying that now, don't take that against me, but Coventry, where I am, learners are able to access 2 days with a 3-day, 12-week extension. So for any parents that are out there that, schools are saying, oh, we're struggling, have a look to see if there is alternative provision available. If you are in Coventry, I guarantee you there is alternative provision available. For anywhere else, I would suggest that you go to your local authority to see if that is available. If your child does have an EHCP or is in the process of gaining an EHCP, then go to the EHCP coordinator. And I've worked in SEN, I've worked with EHCPs, and I do understand that they are backrun. I know within my local authority, I would honestly say, and I may get a slap on the wrist if anybody else is hearing this, but 90% of new applications that go forward will be denied. Parents need to go back and appeal it. And I honestly, I've worked with with students from age 5 to 18, and I've said, if it comes back a no, you need to appeal it. And within that next appeal, it generally then will get a yes. It's not guaranteed, but I would honestly say 90% get rejected at the first panel.
Do you think that's because they're hoping that a certain percentage of those won't appeal?
Yes, definitely. Because
I think they do that with PIP,
This is it. They are, and it, to no fault of their own, but to no fault of their own, the system is so overrun, and I know we see that with everything, don't we? And it's a horrible thing, and I hate to have to say it. I've worked in different areas of education throughout, I would say, 20 years, but it's down to the fight, and it's horrible, and I hate to say that to have to parents. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I've got a daughter. She's going into year 10. She's flying. And I feel myself so fortunate. But I fight for the parents that come to me, and through my job role has changed. It's changed a lot over the last 6 years, and I have more communication with parents, and I am seen as more of a support to parents, which is originally wasn't my role, within alternative provision. But we have provisions that help with year 6 transition. We have with personal development. We have provisions that construction, mechanics, hairdressing, pet grooming, and this is all students and learners that are neurodivergent, and that they have SEN needs. They may not have the EHCP, but they may have an IEP, a school plan. So we have provisions out there to support these learners that are unable to attend school 5 days a week. And sometimes it's that 2 days out of school that makes the 3 days in. And
more productive.
I've got learners that their attendance at school is 15%. Their attendance at provision is 100%. We've got students that go out and work with alpacas on farms, and they're thriving. And it's all about I'm not saying that one learner will work out in an alpaca farm. I'm not saying that, but it's finding that need, it's finding that niche, and it's finding what works for that individual, whether they are 8 years of age or whether they are 16 years of age. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling, and I do hope, everybody's okay with what I'm saying. But please, if anybody in the chat, drop me a follow if you've got any questions, because I do feel that alternative provision isn't really out there.
It's not. I've not heard of it. Yeah.
No, and it's massive. We've seen, I've had a learner, and I can talk of so many success stories, and I'm so proud, and I hope that you can hear it in the way that I talk.
Yeah.
I've had a learner that his attendance at school was 15%. He went and was on a provision where they would fix motorbikes, and then they would learn to ride them in the afternoon. They did employability skills in the morning as well, so they did paperwork.
Yeah.
And he went on to join the Marines to work within the submarines.
Oh my God.
And it's just amazing. And I just wanted to let any parents or carers that are on here just look into your school and your local authority to see what is available. I'm not sure if alternative provision is available in Scotland. I'll be honest, I don't know. I'll hold my hands up to that. But just find out, because if you're struggling, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else. And like I said, we now, over the past, I would say 6 months, we now have a post-16 pathway. And it's working so well for students that are pre-16, that say have been doing construction, that now can move on to post-16, and they're continuing with like a level 3 in construction. And it's amazing.
That is incredible. This is what I mean. Investing in people when at the right time pays dividends long term.
Yeah.
Not just for the country, but for them personally. They go on to become crucial members of society. And this is what I don't understand. I know the NHS is I mean, we could talk about funding, but there is not enough in mental health. There is not enough provision for mental health. And I know that's a very broad term.
I completely agree. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, I can be there to advocate alternative provision, but ultimately it comes down to the school to fund that. So ultimately it is the school. Oh, hi, Brandon. Sorry. Hi, Brandon. Oh, sorry. Somebody I know very well has just come in.
Right.
But yeah, it's just something that I did when I seen your chat and the live that you were doing tonight. And I love your content anyway, I must admit, you know, and I just thought, because I am so passionate, and the fellow that's just come in, Brandon, he knows I'm very passionate about my job. And I am. Yes, I'm on 6 weeks holiday, you know, which I do need. But I will just always express, and I'm always here for parents and carers of, you know, and like I said, if there is anybody in here that wants to drop me a message, and if I can help in any way, I'm more than happy to. So I'm sorry, Jojo, for taking up your time, but I just wanted to come on and say
you're not taking up my time. You're making people aware of something I wasn't aware of, and that's the whole point of this live. Is connecting people with information that they maybe didn't have before, which is exactly what I wanted to do, as well as make a certain person look ridiculous by actually putting facts out there. This is what I wanted. I wanted people to get information, make connections, support each other, all of that stuff. So it's brilliant.